Hey Gemini, this is your February 25th daily reading. It's been a day or two since I've been able to get to you. I'm getting everything worked out, so hopefully I can be more consistent with it's yours and Pisces. Pisces really gets left behind. So, but I think I've got the technical aspect worked out so far. Let's pray this one works. But I do try and get your dailies out by 9 p.m. the night before, and that's Eastern time. So yeah, if you'd like to be notified of when your future readings come out, just hit the subscribe button and it'll show up in your notifications. Because I am trying to get, man, these cards are not wanting. I don't think these are wanting me to shuffle because they're not really that hard to shuffle. So I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, since I am finally getting a good rhythm down with the dailies, I am wanting to do weeklies and monthlies, of course, but your February is in the description. All right, I feel like I'm kind of talking. Are you kind of in a talkative mood, Gemini? Have you been kind of more talkative than normal? Because I don't think I got that chatty with the other signs. All right, Gemini. What is happening for Gemini for February 25th? What is their focus, obstacle, advice, and potential outcome? Please and thank you. Gemini, February 25th. Please and thank you. All right. Let's see what's going on. 9 of Pentacles reversed. 3 of Swords reversed. The Chariot. And 5 of Wands. All right, Gemini. So you're starting off the week, or Monday, the 25th, thinking about what makes you happy, because you're not happy. And I don't mean this, you may not be happy where you are financially. You may want nicer things. You may want finer things type of thing, but you're not happy. And I get why you're not happy is because you've realized that you've kind of looked to others for happiness. And so it hasn't been genuine, and like you've been realizing this. So you're like kind of on this quest to find what genuinely brings you joy, what genuinely makes you happy. That's what I'm getting. I'm not really necessarily getting the luxury part of it and the money part of it. I'm just really getting that you're looking for what makes you rich inside, not necessarily from the outside world or the material world, but what makes you rich on the inside. Your obstacle is the 3 of Swords. So there's been some heartbreak or betrayal recently. That might be why you're kind of coming to this conclusion or realization that you really weren't doing things that made you happy. You were doing what your partner or your friend always wanted to do because that made them happy. And you're just kind of like easy, go with the flow, and do what they want to do because you kind of knew that they weren't going to do what you wanted to do, what made you happy. And so that's why, it's being brought to your attention because now you've had this breakup or betrayal, and, in the recent past. And so now, you're like, well, but I get that you're healing from it. You are starting to move on. That's why you're able to be like, hey, yeah, we used to go watch, you know, action adventure movies, but I hate action adventure movies. I like romance movies. You know, you're kind of like finding this type of stuff out about yourself right now. And that's a sign that you're healing, because you're focusing more on you and your needs and your happiness than you are about, you know, the hurt and the heartbreak. Like you don't want to feel like this anymore, so you're looking to joy, real joy, and real happiness, genuine for you, to help you move on. And your advice is the Chariot. The advice is, you know, be in control of where you go. There's movement happening. There is movement happening. Even if you had gotten the card this way, the movement would still be happening. You just want to be in control of it. You know? You would still be moving forward. It's just, well, not necessarily forward. You'd be moving somewhere. We don't know, because the horses would be going. You know, you would be out of control. But the advice is, like, take charge of your vehicle and go. You know, take the wheels. Take the reins. Be the I'm trying to think of, like, motivator, but I can't think of the right word. That, you know, be the captain of your own ship, or, you know what I mean? You know, be the driver of your own car. These are horrible analogies, but you get the idea. Take the reins, step up, and, you know, go. Be in charge of where you want to go. Don't let someone else or, you know, the environment lead you. You take the reins and lead them. I hope that makes sense. So your outcome is some squabbling, some fighting, some arguing, but this is almost more like sibling fighting and bickering. This isn't really like, you know, knock down, drag out fighting. This is just like, you know, you kind of standing up for yourself, standing up for where you want to go and what you want to do, and, you know, not doing things that don't make you happy anymore. And, you know, it's like, at first, like, the people around you are going to be like, well, why don't you want to do this? Or why don't you want to go here? Or you're doing what? And you're just like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And so I get that it's not really arguing, and it's not even really confrontational. It's just like you're taking a stand for yourself, and the others around you are kind of like, huh? Like, you know, they're like, well, this is new, you know, and it's not that they're not sure that they don't like it. I'm not getting that part of it at all. It's just like they don't really know what to do with it at first, because they're not used to you standing up for yourself, you know? All right, so I'm going to go with the Oracle of the Shadow and Light, because I feel like you are very much on the way to getting happier and being happier. You're definitely focusing on the right things, I feel like. But there's definitely still work to do, and I think you're aware of that, and I think you're okay with that. I think you're happy with the progress you're making. All right, what message or guidance do you have for Gemini for February 25th to help them through this chapter of their life, or this day, this moment in time? Alrighty. That's funny that I said this moment in time. Angel of time, you're working too hard. I feel like in the recent past, or when whatever ending or whatever betrayal happened, I feel like you were working really, really hard not to to not show those around you just how deep the hurt went. So others around you didn't see just how heartbroken you were. I think you worked really hard to hide that. And I think you realized that, which is why you're kind of focusing on this. You also may have thrown yourself into your job, into your career, into working to be able to put that facade up that you were fine. And so it's time for you to come out of that mindset. It's time for you, and I think you're realizing this, you know, that's why you're like, well, I've been working, so I'm going to try and do some things that make me happy. And then you go do some of the things that you did with whoever this was. Maybe you went and saw a movie, or, you know, you watched a movie on Netflix, or, you know, and you're like, well, I don't really like this. Not because I don't have that person to watch it with anymore, but I never really liked it to begin with. And so now, you know, that's why you're focused on what makes you happy. Because you were working really, really hard when this initially happened. You know, you were working hard to put up a facade so people around you didn't see just how deep the hurt went. And you were, on top of that, throwing yourself into work so you didn't have to think about or feel this type of... You just went numb for a while, and you're coming out of that, is what I'm getting. And it's time for you to come out of it. I mean, this card is like, it's time for you to come out of it. It's time for you to find your happiness and do the things that make you truly happy. All right, Gemini, that is your February 25th. I'll see you next time.